I'm back. We're the number one Xbox fans here, not Nintendo. No, I'm just kidding. We have one Xbox fan and a Nintendo fan girl,
Switch 2,
for
y'all.
sure. Yes, and what's your favorite Switch 2 game? Mario Tennis 64?
Fantasy Life Switch 2 edition.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You get way more use out of your games than I do. I think the only game I played for that long is maybe Speedstorm, but I don't think as much as you played Fantasy Life.
Oh yeah, I get hyper fixated. Anyway,
Okay.
Xbox time.
All right. Well, what do you think about what's happening with Xbox and their next gen and how they're starting to put their games on other platforms? I, for one, think that it's great. I think more people playing. I love exclusive games, but I think exclusivity windows are fine. Get your the and the issues with the industry as a whole. Big AAA game developers are going out of business, and it doesn't have to be that way because there's people that could buy these games on other platforms. Like I would totally be, even though Sony's winning, I would totally be on board of Sony releasing Sony games after the exclusivity window on Microsoft platforms. I mean, they already followed to go to the PC, but yes, Xbox has struggled the last 2 generations. They were developing a handheld, not just an agreement with ROG Ally, that they were actually going to do their own handheld, which my speculation is because of, and not to get political, current climate of tariffs and imports, it's makes some products unviable anymore to make. Like, it's not good to jump into something new, you know? So I think they're just going to, they had 2 things they were working on, Microsoft, before we watch this video, is they are, instead of a console, they're leaning more towards Microsoft PC system. That way you can already get Steam on and you get your Steam library. And then potentially, because Sony has pivoted to not only being on their consoles, they're doing console games like God of War, Spider-Man on PC. So the strategy could actually make it more likely that you could get a Sony game on a Xbox PC machine. And I don't know, there's some loophole in the legalese of this that is like, if it's a PC, that they could get away with more things than calling it a console and the specifics of a console. So I'm very excited about the possibilities. I like seeing, and honestly, I know we and the viewers watching this are collectors and are fans of the console experience. But to be fair, the mass market general public is less concerned about the box they play it on. Shout out to Rational Skeptic. He's like, PC Master Race. We have a lot of friends that are like that, right?
Yes, but they secretly love their Nintendo Switch at the same time.
I know they do, because Rational,
yes.
we still got to play Rational on the Switch. But to be fair, there is a segment of the younger generations that are not like, that didn't grow up with exclusives were more a thing when we were growing up. Well, especially when I was growing up. I'm older than you. Especially when I was growing up, the console experience exclusives, it was more of a thing, but it's become less and less so. And I think from industry insiders, even Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo could attest to this. It's more like, can I play my library wherever I want to? And if you think about movies and physical media too, a lot of it's not going to go back to where it was with physical media. It's still going to be around, like with movies, for example, or music. There's vinyl, there's CD collectors, there's cassette collectors, but it's not mass market like it was,
Yeah.
So give options to people and take your library with you. A lot of people do. My wife says, I have my phone here. Here's my library of music. That's all I need. She doesn't need all these locked to physical things. She loves her Steam account, and she could take her Steam account anywhere she goes. So it makes a lot of sense to do this, is where my thoughts are going with the Xbox. I think it's out of necessity, but it's also ultimately the smart move. is really where their promotion's been for the last year. Is Xbox is everything. So I troll my Sony fans, Bruce, that said, well, now your Sony PlayStation 5 is an Xbox because there's going to be Halo on it. There's Forza. Everything that Microsoft is on is also an Xbox. But that's the great Trojan horse to get your in it. They're selling great, and that's great. I would like more to adapt to that. But this is a minute video, only a minute. I did so much talking there because it's rare that
you're setting the stage. Yeah.
So here's the announcement, which is weird. First off, the timing of this right after the Switch 2 launched. I meant launched. It's already pretty common knowledge that they're doing third-party collaborations with ROG Ally, but the actual official branded Xbox internal handheld is unfortunately seems at least delayed for now, probably based on current market, the climate of the market. But this is weird. Our official next generation hardware announcement trailer. Now, before I did not watch this. This is blind for me. But my assumption is because they were losing so badly against PlayStation, they did not do a PlayStation or Xbox Series X Pro. There's the PlayStation Pro. So they said, we're not doing that. So they're focusing on their next gen because one of the ones they have them besides the 360's name, they rushed that console to market before the PlayStation 3 could come out. That's part of the reason they had success. So they're going next gen before Sony. That's the plan, besides doing the PC focus. So they're skipping the Pro, going right to next gen. And having your library everywhere is what I'm ultimately, and selling on all platforms. And I think you're going to be real. I think all the naysayers of Xbox and Microsoft are really going to wait. I wait and see. They have the IP. Let's see what she announces here.
Our vision is for you to play the game.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. That's why.
Okay. Right now, this is 100 times better than when they say Xbox is everything, because people were making fun of that because Xbox, but that was just so simple. That simple messaging, I like that right off the bat. You know.
Why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next generation Xbox consoles, in your living room and in your hands. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation to unlock a deeper level of visual.
I'm not a tech guy, so that really doesn't mean too much to me. But what she's saying in basically what their partnership with ROG Ally, it seems like they're going to do like the Steam route when the Steam was making a Steam box and let other companies that are making these machines use the Xbox branding to get it as many places as possible, I'm assuming. You'll see all types of different manufacturers making Xbox PCs instead of Xbox consoles, is my guess. But I like the part where you I like physical collecting for the Xbox, but honestly, I keep it digital because they don't have a strong physical collecting portion of the Xbox experience right now. Backwards compatibility is, but I like having it everywhere. That's smart. Yeah. I think this is what they have to do ultimately, but I think it's smart. I think that the way they're presenting is good.
Quality and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. This is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device. That's why we're working closely with the.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One thing that Microsoft has above Sony and Nintendo, they've had the best experience with digital purchases moving forward, way beyond Sony and Nintendo. Nintendo completely scrapped their Wii U storefront games. You can't access them. You have to have Nintendo Online to play the games you probably bought on the Wii U if you're as old as me. I own the games digitally. and I have to pay a subscription fee to pay the games I already bought multiple times on the Wii U. But that's something that that's one of their strengths. Is leading into their strengths is they've had a history of you buying the digital game, and even if it gets delisted, you could still download it and play it, So we'll wrap this up because I know Ray doesn't have too much to say about Xbox, but I would ask, I'm going to ask you a question about this though. If Xbox were to bring back some of their customers, what do you think they would need to do? I think they're pretty much saying it in this video. Focus on your library and playing anywhere, any game with anyone you can on as many platforms as possible. That's if you're not going to do physical products, that's probably the best thing to do. And a large portion of the general consumers seem to like to take their library as many places as possible.
Yeah, I guess like to answer your question, what was my thought? Yeah, how to get back their audience. I'm like, they're inherently doing that by putting their software or on multiple devices. Like they're basically going to be present on all of these, different users is, like the accessibility to those users is already there. So they're inherently like, if a person like, happens to check out the app and click around, like they're inherently like, a user, and they're like, oh yeah, another Xbox user because they clicked the app on their device.
Yeah, there's Xbox 360 fans probably migrated to PlayStation. They get to play Halo and Gears of War and Forza. That's ultimately getting some fans back too. The games are selling. Indiana Jones is selling. That was started at a studio that Microsoft acquired. So,
well, what I think correct me if I'm wrong, but the point of this this video was that they are announcing specifically that Xbox software is going to be accessible or available to be scaled across multiple devices.
Yes.
So it's not just, the game licenses going to Nintendo and PlayStation and Steam. It's also going to be on just anywhere else, like, that you want to play.
Yeah, and they're talking yes, and then also beyond Microsoft being everywhere, they're also talking about Steam games and Steam library being playable on your Xbox exclusive stuff too, which that's a game changer because there's some people that have migrated to PC, not even PlayStation, and they have large Steam libraries. Ultimately, more options to the consumer is great. I love my physical games, but I still enjoy Xbox a lot with the services they provide. Game Pass has still been a money saver for me because unlike Rhea, I don't put 40 hours into Fantasy Life. I might play a new game, give it a few days, and then I get my Game Pass worth and move on. Especially, I have a lot of responsibilities with my family stuff, but it's a great value. And I love hearing this. The other part of that was the AMD chip. I think my speculation of that is anything that's made with the AMD chip, other manufacturers can make Microsoft products in a license agreement. So other people can make Xbox PCs because it uses the AMD chip. And that'll also help get more Xbox PCs out there, more Xbox handhelds that are not the canceled one, but are agreements. So I think they're doing what they have to, is to where I'm ending. And I'm looking forward to the future of Switch, Nintendo, and Sony, and Xbox. And then one final thought I'll add to this. People thought because of the failures of Microsoft current gen that Xbox might just go third party and go away. I don't think that's happening with this announcement. What do you feel? Do you think that's a possibility at all based on what they're saying they're planning and the agreements they're making in the presentation?
I was a little confused because it sounded like they were indirectly becoming, just, a third-party software provider. But I think what you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I misunderstood, was any Xbox proprietary hardware, first-party hardware, may just have the ability for you to play your Steam library native to that console. However, the other consoles that have licenses to Xbox games and who have the AMD chip to play Xbox content, they won't have that same exclusive, or they won't have that same ability to play their Steam library that you can get on Xbox. Is that what you were saying?
No, it's the Steam isn't going to be exclusive to. It's just going to be an option because you can't access Steam on Xbox right now. But those other systems that have the AMD that are going to have Microsoft, yeah, they absolutely could play Steam. That's why ROG Ally and Steam Deck have been so successful. You could play your Steam library on there. So yeah, it's not like an exclusive agreement with Steam and Microsoft, but it's a new option that's going to bring some people back even more so than putting Xbox games on PlayStation and hopefully Switch 2, which that's the one disappointment. We heard all the rumors that all these Xbox games were also coming to Switch, and we haven't heard one announcement yet. You know, where's the Rare Replay or Master Chief Collection on Switch 2? Because then Rhea will buy it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be around the corner somewhere. I mean, Cyberpunk native on a cart, that's wild. So
yeah, but to be fair, Sony ain't doing that. Ain't having Steam library on a PlayStation. It's partly out of necessity, but damn, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, like, not to detract from Xbox, but yeah, like, you know, the Sony sort of like ecosystem, similar to Apple, you know, you're paying for a curated experience, just like with Nintendo. So even though you're limited, you know, you still have that, comfort of, just like this is specifically for this purpose, And Nintendo isn't doing that either. And they don't need to either. But Microsoft, yes, out of necessity, is doing this. I don't think they would do this if they were winning the console wars. But you know what? Some of the best decisions these companies make are because out of necessity, just like backwards compatibility wasn't originally a thing on the Xbox One, and then they were forced into doing it because of bad PR.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. I'm happy to be an Xbox fan. I'm sticking with you, Xbox. I still love my Nintendo and Switch, but I'm not one of the. I don't pick a side. I like them all. I want them all.
Yes, same. Also, thank you, Max, for my awesome PS5. Y'all,
yes.
Max gifted me a PS5 and the game Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So I was playing that a lot up until I got my Nintendo Switch 2. I plan to play more games on my PS5 for sure. It's just, the shiny and new Nintendo Switch. It has my attention at the moment.
I was trolling you for a while on the live streams. I'm like, does the PlayStation 4 can you watch 4K Blu-rays on that? You're like, I don't know, does it?
I still don't know.
I was doing that. I was doing that intentional to troll you. Like, you should really get a 4K. Because that was the other reason I was like, I think she was the other thing was, I think you thought it was like a VCR or something, that I sent you some old tech. You're like,
I know. I was just like, it's going to be a VCR record player. Like, here's something you can play your Diana Ross record on. I'm just like,
Yes, no, I got you actually something current that you can enjoy video games in, and I got a really good. I paid $0 for it.
Woo! Max is becoming an affiliate for all these different websites, y'all. So he's trying to save you money while making himself a little, money.
No, I'm gonna start tracking something I do naturally. Is I am a cheap skate and I use coupons and I do all kinds of things to supplement this. To get
all of this. Yeah,
I have 20 plus years as a collector. Okay. I've done,
okay, just to like kind of reverse make fun of you too. I like how you're just like, y'all, I'm broke, I'm a penny pincher. Oh wait, I just bought all these $60 games with this discount code.
Don't call me out like that, or I'm gonna.
I just went VHS shopping, y'all. Like,
That's not cool, Rhea. Don't point out the truth. It's a fraction of what I used to spend. Remember when I told you the pandemic limited run? Well,
yeah.
I used to pre-order like every limited run indie game that I love the game, but they were not not every indie game needs a limited run. Like there's games that are like $10 digital that are $40, $50, $60 for the. And then I used to pre-order every movie on Steelbook. Like people are like, Max doesn't see movies. I used to pre-order every movie on Steelbook.
Yeah.
And then I would get, and then there was a time when there was a supply chain issue at the beginning of the pandemic. And then there was a day that I got like 12 limited run boxes on my front porch. And she's friends with my wife. My wife's like, what is going on? And I'm like, it's not my fault. They delayed them all and then they shipped them all over.
Oh yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah, there is like a oversaturation of that, but like yeah, like kind of tying the bow on Xbox, just not having to worry so much about like, oh, I have to pre-order this in order to play this game that hasn't been out for forever. Like Steam library probably is the most accessible library for all generations of games, so that's exciting. Although like I love having to hoard cases and cartridges and stuff like. Ultimately, I want to be able to play more games than less.
Yeah, I've adapted to, I am a physical collector, but I try to pick and choose what I get physically. And I have saved a lot of money with Game Pass and digital. I wait for sales. But I will admit I spent some money on the digital sales yesterday because I have the Shantae Collector's Edition Steelbooks from Limited Run, which I thought about selling before, but now I'm going to keep them.
Yeah.
I bought some for $5 and $10 with a half off the other day for the Switch so I could play them. And so when you're here, I could lend them to you too, the digital versions. So
yeah, we gotta test that out. Game sharing.
We are still trying to work that out, but I think I got it working. But cool. I want to try that, and hopefully you have a digital game you can let me lend to me too, see if that works.
Oh, that's another selling point. Maybe Microsoft will have game sharing. I don't know if that's already a thing or not there, but
yeah, that could.
Oh, it is. Oh,
no, it could be a thing. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I know everyone's like, drop the price, but that is, even if it has limitations, that is significant. Mm-hmm. Like my niece is probably going to get a Switch too. I have it, but if I buy a digital game, I don't like to lend my niece my physical game because stuff goes over that house. I love my niece and my niece's family, but stuff goes over the house. I don't see it again.
Oh, yeah.
Digital family sharing for a lot of people is great.
There's that, and like if we could close it off with like one wish list item, I don't want to count that. Game sharing would be cool, but like, okay, if I had one wish list item for this new hardware or whatever software, it would be to make the streaming experience a little bit more streamlined, because to get the best, like highest fidelity streaming experience, you need like, OBS, and you need an Elgato stream card. And I know our PlayStation allows you to stream natively from the console, yes. But having like, that customizable screen where streamers on Twitch have like their little icon and they have a layout and things like that, that'll be so powerful. Like I think that will be a real system seller too, for sure, because being able to just have your basically like your income generator for content creators, just being able to take your console your office with you basically.
If I ever got to interview Phil Spencer, I know why you can't stream to YouTube natively right now from Xbox. And I think Nintendo should work on this too, but it'd be harder, even though I'm impressed by the Switch 2 console. It's to stream natively to streaming. It probably will really test the capabilities of the Switch 2. I think it's going to be under the hood something that might take up more computing power. My guess, I'm not a technical guy. But the reason Microsoft did it at first is they had their own streaming service called Mixer that's now gone defunct that they were promoting. But if I ever get to interview Phil Spencer of Microsoft and the executives in charge of Microsoft, I'm going to say, please, if you really want Microsoft to succeed, stream directly to YouTube and not just Twitch. And I will tell you what, Ray, that is as a fan of your video game content, that's another secret reason why I got you the PS5, is it's so fun to just not have to hook up Elgato and just hit go live.
I know, I'm just a stickler for presentation.
I know.
Yeah.
No, but you can also have a camera, right? It has all kind of options. This PlayStation platform surpassed Nintendo and Xbox of you have a branded Sony, I have it, camera, and you just hit live and it looks perfect. It looks as good. It's 1080p. It looks as good as OBS if you're just doing it, and not with all the special stuff. I know all the extra stuff you do though.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm glad that it's there. But yeah, this is I was able to engage a lot more than I thought I was. So yeah, on this discussion. So
all right, cool. So thanks for watching. Xbox Forever. Bye, everyone.
Woo!